Alrighty. What's up, everyone? Oh, we got a couple people already in here. It's the Hika, an official One Piece Slayer. Hopefully both of you are doing well. Let's see. Something I was gonna do. Go ahead and get the game started at least. It's always so loud through my headphones. Jeez! You're drawing until your arms fall off. That does not sound pleasant. Alright, let's see if this red version save file loads up. You deleted all your Switch games, now you have to replay everything? Wait, but like you lost your save files too? Like how does that work? I thought you could just delete the game but keep the save file. This game pack was not saved at a Pokemon Center. Whoops. How did they delete the account? The sound's desynced. Hold on. Let me reactivate it altogether at once. No, OBS updated earlier today, so hopefully it has nothing to do with that. Let me go ahead and get your red version save file where it needs to get to. How did your son delete the whole account? Like, can't you call Nintendo and see if they can like reinstate the account? Wait, if he deleted the account, does that mean you lost the purchases as well? Oh yeah, we are still in here. Oh yeah, no way to fly, that's right. That once we are done with the Master Ball Prime Cup. Why am I healing? Are your Pokemon healed? Your Snorlax is dead, shame on you. Alright, let's go ahead and save. 255 hours. My yellow version's at 256. No, it's 255.59. The game can't pass that. I was training till they dropped. Jeez. I have the physical games. I just lost my gameplay data saves, whatever you want to call it. It's fine. I'll replay it. I mean, hopefully it'll be an enjoyable replay or it won't take you as long, because you probably have some of the muscle memory for that already. How's the sound, by the way? Is it still delayed? Like, me swapping between menu items here should be pretty instantaneous. Ah, okay. Man, I cannot wait to potentially cheese this. As you guys can see, I went ahead and caught that Mewtwo and leveled it up, and it is so funny that we're using this Mewtwo. Actually, let's have a well-rounded team, although I don't think we're gonna be using much of it. So, got my my Jolteon ready to go. Oh, he's not in here. He's not in the party. Where'd I put you? Here you are. And somewhere in here is Charizard. Charizard's probably still in the party. No, Charizard's not in the party. Where the heck is Charizard? Am I blind? Is he just there and I don't see him? Where's Charizard? Did I deposit him in a different box? I'm blind. I have no idea where I deposited Charizard. It would not be in any of these other... Oh, I am blind. He's right here. He's in the party. Let's go ahead and pick up Gyarados. And then we're going to have Mewtwo, who's going to be our just absolute abomination. And we are going to have Mew, who, as you can see, I've spec'd up to be a physical attacker in this case, with beautiful sword stance to power him up, body slam and earthquake for those physical attacks, and soft boiled to help keep it healed. You're right. You're right, that's right. I need Pikachu on this team. I'm thinking like complete meta right now. The whole point of what I'm trying to do right now. Can we reset? Nope, we can't reset from here. I have to forfeit. I don't know if Stadium has a soft reset combination. I would imagine it would be Outlaw or AP and Start if it had one, but I don't think it has one. Nope, it does not have a soft reset. Pikachu, you idiot, you idiot. This Pikachu. So I want to see just how crazy this is going to be.
We're finally underway with Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Master Ball. Which trainer will go home with the Champions Trophy this time?
We have strayed so far from God.
It bumped up its special rating.
Gonna put me to sleep.
The move failed to click. They're both being cautious.
Ending another amnesia. I'll do another amnesia.
Go into battle.
Get our special up just in case.
It's concentrating on its status.
Probably gonna try to lovely kiss again. Yep, there it is. It might actually put me to sleep this time.
Oh no, it fell asleep. Falling asleep is going to make this
But our special should help maintain us, I feel like.
It's fast asleep.
It's gonna use Psychic.
That was weak.
Oh, whole 13 damage.
Battle continues. It still won't awaken.
2 turns of sleep. It's gonna body slam.
What's next? Yeah, it's a hit. What a furious battle. Now. It woke up. What'll it do? What a week. The crowd's excitement is building over.
Alright, here comes a T-Bolt.
There it goes. A savage hit. What's this? The attack wasn't effective. Fireworks are flying in this battle.
I'll give it another T-Bolt and that should take it out.
Right, thunderbolt. Boom. Wow. Go down. We're waiting for the next Pokemon.
What's gonna come out next?
Oh, it's Cloyster.
It's got high defense and nothing into into its special, so this T-Bolt's gonna hurt it a lot.
No! This Pokemon looks wrong! Wow! Taken down with one hit! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon.
This is my my revenge battles for all the times that this game has cheated. I'm sure it's gonna cheat again because this is the Master Ball challenge.
The Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What's that?
He's like, I'm gonna get my one hit in before you take me out.
Vigorous attack. Hit the weak.
And it's a crit.
Gone! It's a one-hit wonder.
And there goes the battle. Okay. So this is just cue ball. Anything can happen going forward. And I guess same combination again. I like how he has all the evolutions for Gen 1. Got a pretty well-rounded team, aside from the fact that he has 2 fighting types. Yep, that's what I picked.
What kind of battle can we expect to see? Begin round 2.
I already know what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna guess he's got T-Wave. Now the question is, do I just go for the Psychic then? Or should I still go for the Amnesia first? Try going for
They go into battle poses.
non-buffed Psychic.
Savage attack.
It survived because it says special fell. Oh, never mind.
Pumped up. Fireworks are flying in this battle. A psychic blast. Boom! And it's down. Which Pokemon
Indeed.
is coming out? Oh, it's Vaporeon.
It's Vap.
The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Can't remember if I had a high special. You think I'll just two-shot everything? Alright. I'll just two-shot everything then. Oh, what am I doing? I should have Thunderbolted.
Special attack is down. It's getting pumped up. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle.
I don't think its fins are supposed to spin that way.
Right, Thunderbolt. That one hurt. Oh, it's down. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Pinsir. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What now? And the weak spot. Down! That didn't take much!
And there goes the battle. Here comes Gambler. Mewtwo, Mew, and Pikachu, I guess. So a few of these guys are weak to ground. I don't know if Mew should come out first. Worst case, we can always switch, right?
The upcoming battles look promising. We're into round 3.
I'm not even gonna set up. One, I should be able to take it down, I think. And two, I want to avoid the fact that it probably knows glare.
Mighty blow to the word go. Taken down on the word go. There's been major action already. Oh, it's Rapidash. This is a fight between two different types of Pokemon. Savage attack. Severe hit. It's speeded up. Neither one is conceding an inch.
It got faster than Mewtwo,
Whoa!
and it got a horn drill off on the first turn. Are you kidding me?
One-hit wonder. We're waiting for the next Pokemon.
And this is exactly why I'm playing the way that I'm playing right now. Can you believe that? One horn drill in. Low accuracy, but it's a computer, so of course it connects.
Oh, it's you! The Pokemon are entirely different types. Whoa!
Yeah, don't ever tell me that this game doesn't cheat.
Down! That didn't take much. There's only one
Twice in a row
Pokemon
did
left
horn
in
drill
the
connect. And now I'm just curious. I'm going to restart this whole Prime Cup at this point.
Oh, it's Pikachu!
No, there's going to be some ding-dong out there that's going to say, no, it
The
doesn't.
10th battle continues. Ah! Oh, the attack missed! Yeah, it's a hit! What a furious battle! The commands are issued. Wow!
Oh, now, conveniently, you miss on the two non-threats.
That's a good hit! Wow! Goes down!
What a coincidence. On the two non-legendaries, or rather, on the two legendaries, you don't miss. And on the unevolved, oh, and of course you have a Nidoqueen at the end.
There's just one Pokemon aside now. The battle
I don't even think I
is
can Thunder
coming
Wave it.
right down to the wire. It used Thunder Wave. It didn't work. Vigorous attack. There, it's a hit. The intense battle continues. What's this?
Yeah, I'm quitting this.
Savage attack.
Oh, and it was a quit. I mean, it was a crit.
Oh, is it down and out? And there goes the battle.
Gotta love how this stupid ass game cheats. Rapidash, 1 speed up. Rapidash, 1 speed up. And then 2 horn drills that happen to connect. One of the lowest accuracies in this game. And it connects back to back on the 2 legendaries. Sure thing, game. Absolutely. That's what happens when you gamble with the gambler. No, that's what happens when the developers don't know how to properly balance a game. And it results in you having to use a Mewtwo and a Mew on your team.
We're finally underway with Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Master Ball. Which trainer will go home with the Champions Trophy this time? It pumped up its special rating. What will the trainer do now? Drill that weak spot. Sparks are flying in this heated match. Vigorous attack. It's doubly effective. Down! That didn't take much. Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Ninetales. How will the type difference affect battle? What's next? Special Bat is down. Flash up confusedly. It's confused. The crowd
5 turns of self-damage incoming. Oh, it's like it hurt me. It's like, oh, well, he's on to us. Let's not do that.
Oh, is it down and out? There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Raticate. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
Self-inflicted damage.
Whoa! It attacked itself! What's this? There, it's a hit! Fireworks are flying in this battle. Oh, there's going to be a change of Pokemon. Oh, it's Mew! What'll it do? Major damage! Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle? What now? That's a good hit! What's that? A decent hit! Neither one is conceding an inch. It's restoring HP! What's this? Yeah!
I can't remember how much PP Super Fang has.
Furious battle! The commands are issued. It's restoring HP! What'll it do? Severe hit! Sparks are flying in this heated match. Now, it's restoring HP. What now? Oh, the attack missed! The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. It increased its attack power. What's that? A savage hit! The heated battle rages on.
You gotta out-soft boil him, apparently.
It's restoring
They can stop with that nonsense.
What's this? Boom!
He might have run out of Super Fang. I think he might only have 10 PP.
It increased its attack power.
No, he just felt like doing something else, I guess.
There, it's a hit. The intense battle continues. What now? Good hit. It's restoring HP.
Trying to balance out its soft boil. I mean,
Neither one is conceding
it's
an
Super
ace.
Fang.
What's next? A decent hit. It increased its attack power. What a furious battle. Body slam. Major damage. It's finally taken down. And there goes the battle.
That was incredibly annoying for the first battle.
What kind of battle can we expect to see? Begin round 2. Now, it pumped up its special rating. It's getting pumped up. They're just trading warning blows now. Vigorous attack. Major damage. What now? Drill that weak spot. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. Right, thunderbolt. Yeah, it's a hit. Wow. Going down! Which Pokemon is coming out? Oh, it's Vaporeon! How will the type difference affect battle? Savage attack! Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice! Getting pumped up. Fireworks are flying in this battle. There it goes. Devastating. Oh, it's down. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Pinsir! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. What's this? Heavy damage! Wow! Taken down with one hit! And there goes the battle!
The question is how to best approach the stupid gambler, since his gimmick is going to be using one-hit KO moves. That's not really a gamble because the computer is just going to give itself 100% crit on the most important targets. If we don't get a continue on gambler but win, I think that's fine. do you think should come out first? Let's see how it goes. I'll definitely try to get some sword stance in.
They strike fighting poses.
Already switching out.
Pokemon. That Pokemon must not have been the right choice. Oh, it's Tara. It increased its attack power. Are they testing each other's strength?
Should I go for another swords dance, or do you want me to go straight for a body slam or an earthquake?
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order. Combatants face each other. Fissure! Miss the target. There's the attack. Heavy damage. Neither one is conceding an inch.
This is gonna be stupid. Go for another earthquake.
They're staring each other down. Whoa! Oh, the attack missed. Earthquake. Nailed the weak spot.
Okay, he's down. Oh wait, no, he's not. He
The
lived,
intense battle
and that was a
continues.
crit. I'm guessing you're gonna want me to body slam. You want me to swap to Mewtwo?
Now,
I don't know if Mewtwo's faster than him.
the trainer's changing Pokemon. Oh, it's Mewtwo! Whoa! Horn drill! That attack is totally ineffective! Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle?
Did I set up Mewtwo?
They're staring each other down.
That would probably be the best time to set up an amnesia
The trainer
if
hasn't
I'm faster
issued
than
an
him,
order.
because he's probably gonna swap out if I'm faster.
What's the
Either
matter,
gonna swap
trainer?
out or body slam would be my guess.
Go into battle poses. It pumped up its special rating.
First turn body slam paralysis.
What's this? There, it's a hit. There's a big difference in HP.
I've got one amnesia in. Kill him. I will kill him.
A psychic blast. Yeah, it's a hit. Oh, is
Oh, we know
it
he
down
is.
and out?
Nidorina. Nidorina will definitely go down with Mewtwo.
What Pokemon
So
will
the
be
third
fighting next?
Pokemon's probably gonna come out. If it's Rapidash, that's the threat.
Oh, it's Dug Trio.
It's Doug Trio, which I also know is a fast
How will the
Pokemon.
height difference affect that?
Go straight for the Psychic. Psy till you die.
Vigorous attack. Hit the weak.
That's a crit. So this battle's won 100%.
Down. That didn't take much. There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Wow! Super effective! God! It's a one-hit wonder! And there goes the battle!
I'm guessing Mewtwo coming out first here. The big threat there, I think, is the Slowbro. And assume that the Slowbro is definitely going to be the one to know Thunder Wave. Although I guess the Nidoking can know it too.
The crowd's excitement is building. This is round 4. It pumped up its special rating. What will the other side do? A decent hit. What a furious battle. They strike fighting poses, still improving in state. What's this? Oops, that's a miss. Fireworks are flying in this battle. What now? Harsh blow. God, it's a one-hit wonder. What Pokemon will be fighting next? Oh, it's Weezing! How will the type difference affect that? A Psychic Blast! Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. Wow! Taken down with one hit! There's a distinct difference in the number of remaining Pokemon. Oh, it's Nidoking! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Whoa! It's doubly effective. Down! That didn't take much. And there goes the battle!
That was quick and painless. Mewtwo, new Pika, I assume. There's another Rapidash there.
We're in the last half of the tournament. Things will get white hot. Begin round 5.
An Amnesia, but he should be weak to Thunderbolt, right?
What will the trainer do now? Boom! What a furious battle!
We got body slam, so I'm not even chancing it. I'm gonna go straight for the T-Bolt after the first amnesia.
Wow! Take it down with one hit! What Pokemon will be fighting next? Oh, it's Gengar! How will the type difference affect that?
I think one amnesia is good enough for him.
A psychic blast! Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. Gone! It's a one-hit wonder! There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Rapidash! The remaining Pokemon count is 3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Savage attack! Major death! Down! That didn't take much! And there goes the battle!
Alright, that's round 5. I'm guessing Mewtwo, Mew, Pikachu. That order again.
Field is thinning out. We're into round 6. It's pumped up its special rating. What will the other side do? Yeah, it's a hit. Fireworks are
I feel like for this battle, I'm scared of that electrode coming out. But I try to amnesia now, but this guy knows body slam. I'd assume that all their Pokemon, with the exception of maybe like Alakazam, probably all know body slam.
They're staring each other
I don't
down.
know if Victory Bell can learn body slam. And the Electro won't need it. I'm gonna do a second amnesia. I can almost feel myself getting stunned. Or paralyzed, rather.
Still improving its state. What's this? A decent hit. Sparks are flying in this heated match. What now? Heavy damage. What's next? Boom! The heated battle rages on.
After he goes down, I'm probably gonna recover on the next one and hope that it's not Electrode or something that can stun. Actually, if it's the Victory Bell, it's poison type, so I'm pretty sure it'll go down. I don't think that Victory Bell will be one of the ones coming out.
Oh, it's Lapras. It has to make up for lost ground.
Lapras learn Thunder Wave? I know it could definitely know Body Slam. I don't know if it's... I mean, Thunderbolt might take it down, right? Do you think T-Bolt will do the trick? I mean, it's weak to it, but I don't know if it'll do the trick.
What'll it do? Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice.
Oh, it did the trick.
Down! That didn't take much. There's There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon. Oh, it's Venusaur! The remaining
Alright, this might
Pokemon
be in the
count
bag,
is
actually.
3-1. The battle has become one-sided. Whoa! Super effective! Gone! It's a one-hit wonder! And there goes the battle!
And yup, there are the 3 legendary birds. Same as always. Remember when these graphics were amazing? What are you talking about? They're still amazing. This is a great looking game. Well, I don't see those edgy pixels at all. Oh my god. I know he's gonna know Thunder Wave. There's no way that his Zapdos wouldn't know Thunder Wave. All those pieces clipping. Could I swap to Pikachu and T-Wave him back and then he's kind of screwed? My classes are crying, they're cracking in protest.
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order. The commands are issued. Oh, and a rough Pokemon change. Oh, it's Pikachu!
Yep, I knew it. I knew he was gonna have T-Wave.
Thunder Wave! Oops, it's paralyzed! They're just trading warning throws now. What's this? Missed the target. What now? Oops, it's paralyzed. The intense battle.
Just set up a late screen too, so if anything happens, oh, he might not survive this. Oh, that didn't do much to him. He's gonna drill pick the rest of the time through.
The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. What'll it do? What's the weak spot? What's this? That's a good hit.
Thunder Wave did nothing.
There's
I mean,
a
Thunderbolt.
big difference in HP. It's paralyzed on the spot.
Oh my god. I was like, oh look, we get a freebie. We both were paralyzed.
But the opponent appears beat. Drill. Boom. Oh, it's down.
Mewtwo?
What will the next Pokemon be?
Or Mew? Yeah, I guess to Mewtwo, or yeah, I guess to Mew. I'm assuming Mewtwo.
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Tua's in the second choice or Mew? Oh my god, Tua's in the second choice or Tua's in Mewtwo?
The trainer hasn't issued an order.
I don't know why. Like, if you had put M2, then I guess I could have assumed they meant Mewtwo.
What's the matter, trainer?
Mewtwo 2 dose.
Here's a Pokemon chain. The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Oh, should I go straight into Thunderbolting? Should I Psychic? I feel like Thunderbolting's not gonna do much.
They're staring each other down.
But Psychic would at least have the stab bonus. I also don't know if I should Amnesia.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. It pumped up its special rating. What now? Oops, it's paralyzed. Fireworks are flying in this battle.
Paralyzed. Here we go.
Paralyzed on the spot. What's next? A decent hit. Neither one is conceding an inch. It's still improving its state.
999 of a stat. Here we come.
What'll it do?
Oh, now it's a
And the
crit.
weak spot.
Fantastic.
What a furious battle.
Psychic or Recover?
They're staring each other down. The trainer hasn't issued an order.
All right.
What's this? Major death!
He lived.
What now? Yeah, it's a hit! Sparks are flying in this heated match.
Psychic or Recover?
They're staring each other down. It's restoring HP. What's that? There, it's a hit. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle. A psychic blast. Boom! It's finally taken down. What Pokemon will be fighting next?
Oh,
Oh, it's Pokemon.
fantastic. The other legendary decides to come out. Fantastic. Gotta go straight for the Thunderbolt. You might know Fire Spin. You might Fire Spin me and lock me in place.
They're staring each other down.
Oh my god, I called it.
What'll it do? A minor hit.
Unless Fire Spin misses, we're locked here forever.
The intense battle continues.
So continue trying to T-Bolt, you think? Or should I try to squeeze in a Recover if I can? Should I switch to Mew?
The trainer hasn't issued an order. What's the matter, trainer? The trainer hasn't issued an order.
Cause I'm stumped. He's just gonna Fire Spin till we lose.
What's the matter,
Try to
trainer?
Thunder.
The attack is still continuing. It's a light hit. Fireworks are flying in this battle. The attack's still going on.
Returns.
A light hit. Neither one is conceding an inch.
Use fire spin again.
What's this?
And it connected.
Oh,
I'm guessing you're gonna want me to
still
swap
can't
now.
move. What a furious battle. They're staring each other down. Now, the trainer's changing Pokemon. Oh, it's you! Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle? It increased its attack power. What's next?
Of course I get burned. Of course I switch to my physical attacker, and what happens? I get burned. Of course, on the very first attempt, I get burned.
Improving its state.
I think this battle is lost. Unless some crazy RNG happens in our favor, we lost. Oh, and now it's a critical hit too? Game, never mind. I'm glad that the game has decided to cheat again. And this is that I'm using two essentially uber level Pokemon, and the game is still cheating. Like I still can't keep up with its cheating.
It's one Pokemon against two.
So now it's just gonna lock me in Fire Spin until it wins.
Fire Blast! A decent hit.
It doesn't even care anymore. It's just going straight for the Fire Blast.
There's the attack. Perfect hit.
Wow.
Sparks
Even
are
with
flying in this heated
all
match.
of that, 999 special.
It flew up into the sky.
What the hell is the computer even doing right now?
It's restoring HP. Fireworks are flying in this battle. What'll it
Well,
do?
right now I don't have
There, it's a hit.
the bonuses. I just realized because oh, of course, I'm paralyzed on the spot. When I could attack, I'm paralyzed on the spot. And then we're back to the, oh my god, just end the fight.
What's this? Oops, that's a miss.
I don't know what the hell is going on with this game right now.
Wonderful. Whoa, that's tough. It's finally taken down.
I said some crazy amount of RNG needs to happen in our favor, and all of a sudden it's trying to give me hope.
Oh, it's Charizard. There's just one
I bet he knows
Pokemon
Fire Spin
aside
too.
now.
I bet his whole strategy is T-Wave with Zapdos and then Fire Spin to victory. Should I try to recover? I don't know what he's gonna do. I could try to Thunderbolt
They're staring
him.
each other down.
Oh, I don't know, some stupid naming convention that the trainers use.
What's the matter, trainer?
Oh, that's probably gonna kill me.
What's the weak?
It did not kill me.
It's restoring HP. The intense battle continues. What now? Hit the weak spot. It's restoring HP. What a furious battle. What'll it do? Powerful strike. Savage attack. Pow! That's in the The heated battle
Just one more
rages
Thunderbolt.
on. What's this? Nail the weak spot.
Oh my god.
There it goes.
This game, I swear this game.
Super effective. Oh, is it down and out? And there goes the battle.
I didn't do anything back. The AI went like, and it just gave up. I have no idea why it did what it did. With Moltres, it just needed to fire spin and keep me locked in place. And instead, it was like, no, I'm gonna do all this other stupid nonsense. Oh, of course. And then the last trainer has a Mew as well. It used Fly. Pretty much. I got lucky that I didn't get hit with another paralysis for that time. I didn't even bother trying to set up an amnesia. Once I saw that the first Thunderbolt did more than half, I was like, oh, we just need one more hit. Pika lead. Set up a Thunder Wave on one of those, because I know that Starmie has to know Thunder Wave. I know that Jolteon has to know Thunder Wave. I know that Executor has to have Stun Spore. I would be surprised if they didn't. The Tauros is gonna go for the body slams. I can assume that the Mew is also gonna know T-Wave. Pretty much every one of those Pokemon is gonna know some way to cause a paralysis. As long as the first Pokemon is not any of them, I think Pikachu will be fine. The fast ones are the biggest threats. So, the Starmie, the Jolteon, and the Tauros are probably the scarier things for Pikachu. We'll do a Pikachu lead. We have 6 attempts.
This is it, the final battle. Who will bask in the glory of the championship?
Oh my lord. I could go for the Thunder Wave. It's gonna know Earthquake. It knows Earthquake.
Earthquake.
And it's a crit. Pikachu's dead. I mean, he's probably gonna be dead anyway, but the game really wanted that Pikachu dead.
There's been major action already.
We should come out. Mewtwo and set up Amnesia. Or Mew and set up Sword Stance.
The trainer hasn't issued an order. Oh, it's you! How will the type difference affect that?
Switching out.
Pokemon returns to its Pokeball.
It's gonna be a Mew. It's gonna be the Mew.
Oh,
It's the Mew.
It increased its attack power. How will the swamp Pokemon fight?
Should I go straight for an earthquake, or should I go for a body slam? Should I another sword stance? Try to get lucky with the body slam.
What's this?
Oh
What
my
is
god.
it? Get you Thunder Wave. Oops, it's paralyzed. The crowd's excitement is building over this hot battle.
Okay, should I swords again?
They're staring each other down. Oh,
Switching out again.
change your Pokemon. Oh, it's Rhydon.
Horn drill. That's gonna be the strategy. Now that I'm paralyzed, he's gonna horn drill. He's gotta know horn drill or something.
Will this Pokemon swap change the flow of battle?
Guess I could try to go for the earthquake. I mean, even if I didn't have the buff, I feel like earthquake would take it out.
What's next? Boom!
Please don't be paralyzed. Of course you're paralyzed.
Paralyzed on the spot. Sparks
Earthquake
are
again?
flying in this heated match.
Of course I was paralyzed. What a crucial moment for a paralysis to hit me and not the opponent. Let me
What
guess,
now?
crit?
Yeah, it's a hit.
Paralyzed again! G, freaking G.
The intense battle continues.
You're gonna tell me I was paralyzed twice in a row.
They're staring each other down.
We're dead.
Savage attack. That's a good hit. Oh, it's down.
Thanks for cheating yet again,
There's a
Pokemon
difference in the
Stadium.
number of
All the
reserve
developers should
Pokemon.
give themselves a big old pat on the back.
Oh, it's Mewtwo. There's only one Pokemon against 3.
I know he's gonna
battle has
switch out to
become
the
one-sided.
Mew to set up the paralysis again and then swap back out to this idiot.
It pumped up its special rating. How will this swap affect the outcome? What'll it do? A savage hit! It's paralyzed.
Oh, you're
on the
paralyzed
spot.
on the spot, are you?
Neither one is conceding an inch. Right, Thunderbolt! Good hit! And it's down! What will the next Pokemon be?
Tauros. Tauros.
Here's a Pokemon chase. It's one Pokemon against 2 now. The combatants are making sparks fly. Major damage! Gone! It's a one-hit
We may have
wonder.
just won.
We're down to one
His
Pokemon
Rhydon has
aside.
no special at all. As much as we love him for all he did early on in Stadium.
There's just one Pokemon aside now. The battle is coming right down to the wire. Harsh blow. Down! That didn't take much.
Oh my god, I'm so glad to be done with this game.
The champion has been decided!
I think Mew was kind of useless. Might have just been better to have him be a psychic type. Like, actually just psychic. Just be a secondary psychic blaster. It's over. You won using Pikachu. Special reward. Pikachu may now learn Surf. Would you like your Pikachu to learn Surf? Yes, I would. Pikachu is trying to learn Surf, but Pikachu can't learn more than 4 moves. Forget a move to make room for Surf. Which move should be forgotten? Huh. The only one I can't replace if I don't like it is Light Screen. So I think I'm gonna get rid of Body Slam, give him Surf, keep Light Screen, and Thunder Wave. Because worst case, I can always reteach him Body Slam and get rid of Light Screen later. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, that's funny. Take good care of Pikachu. He's level 100 and I've brought him this far up. Of course I'm gonna take care of him. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, I forgot. We're not done. We're nowhere near done. Now it's round 2's version of Mewtwo. I forgot that this was even a thing. Should it just be Mewtwo versus Mewtwo again? I don't know what to expect. Definitely bringing Jolteon. I'm gonna have my standard stadium team. Jolteon, Mewtwo, and whatever for. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some rental Pokemon with me. Actually, that might actually be the move. And then just Horn Drill until he dies. And Fissure. Wrong Venusaur? Oh yeah, that's right, he's in my box. And Mewtwo instead of our buddy. I think Jolteon's gonna come out first and just immediately lead with a Thunder Wave, and we'll see where it goes from there. Perfect IV, EV trained Mewtwo, I can already tell. That didn't do anything. Wow, could not give me, not even a crit if you were only gonna give me 2 each time? Sort of. I wanted to set up like a leech seed and a T-wave. That way, whatever comes out, it can get some sliver while slowly chipping. Oh, if I wanted to be evil, I'd bring in a Pokemon that knows Toxic. Fire Spin Chip and Leech Seed Chip. Slash, in your opinion? I'm gonna, because I'm assuming he knows Recover. So if I can keep him locked down, then he can't ever have a chance to use Recover. The paralysis will make sure that maybe he doesn't get a chance to attack. Even if he breaks free, the Leech Seed will slowly drain him while simultaneously healing one of my Pokemon. The Fire Spin keeps him locked and he can't escape because he's slow, and we're playing by Gen 1 logic. Can't abuse this in Gen 2. Could have done the same thing if I brought in a Dragonite, the new Wrap. And if he gets kind of low enough, then maybe I can chance a Slash. If he gets to the red, I'll probably chance a Slash. It's kind of scary how Leech Seed is the most damaging thing that's happened to him right now. And I don't even mean like over time, I mean just a single Leech Seed did more than I think the Pin Missiles ever did. Fire Spin is still going on, but I'm going to try to squeeze in a Slash. Unless Fire Spin wants to continue. No, didn't choose to continue. Alright, that took him down. You're damn right I'm going to be evil as much as this computer cheats. Alright, so now I guess officially Pokemon Stadium is completed. Round 1 and Round 2 are completed. I have my Surfing Pikachu. I have Round 1 and Round 2 completed. I have the Dodrio Game Boy. Everything is completed. AI programmer Satoru Osako. Hey, Osako. You know what my opinion is of you right now. You know what you did when you coded these battles. He knows what he did. That was the Earth Gem. I don't know. This is That's Sabrina's gym. I want to say that's Erica's gym. That's definitely Blaine's gym. I go when there's no Pokemon battles going on. Like almost 60 frames of it moving around the arena. Lane? No. Lieutenant Surge's gym. The Pika or the Petite Cup? I don't know which one is this. Hey, Super Mario Club, you should have done a little more testing and been like, hey, this game's kind of cheating. Can't wait to put myself through all the torture of Pokemon Stadium 2 next. We're not quite done. Oh, I thought that the title screen would give me another change at least. You can see I don't have my usual blue version in there. Instead, I have a red version. Reason for that is I'm going to trade for it. Actually, I don't even need to trade. I forgot that there's a technical workaround here. So I gotta figure out. I think you put one in box 7, you told me? I'll put the 64 boxes here. Was it this one? I can't remember. Can't remember what you told me. Take both to be safe. No, because I'd like to leave one for my my blue version. The blue version can have the lesser one, not to be mean. As long as it has one, so I can say that the Pokedex is officially complete there too. Oh my god, I keep forgetting that Heiko cites the IV calculator for whatever reason is switched. I don't know why he did that. Or they did that. Alright, that one had 11 to 12 HP, 8 to 9 attack, 13 to 14 defense, 11 special, and 9 to 10 speed. Okay. I mean, I have to move them both over anyway, but I should know which one is which. Then you had this one, which was the level 36. Wait, let's not do that. Let's make another page. The numbers. 36. Electabuzz. Not Ekans, Electabuzz. Alright, this one had 103 HP, 66 attack, 53 defense. 66 attack, 53 defense, 77 special, and 88 speed. Ooh, This one had the better special, but the worst attack. I doubt there's one in here, right? Oh wait, no, there's some other Electabuzzes in here. Do you know anything about these? Things you do for me? How are these? Were these bad? I can't recall. You have 2 Electabuzzes in here. You have 4 Electabuzzes. This one, the special is worse, so automatically disqualified in my opinion. This one, the special is also worse than the lowest special IV. This one's also lower. This one's also lower. So those would be the best 2, I think. It's all a blur. Oh, I didn't need to back out that much, and I didn't need to jump into the stadium. I never want to look at this event ever again. Box 5, sure. Guess I'll keep this one. Oh. Something I want to see. I remember as a kid, one of my friends had Stadium, and since there was only one transfer pack that came with the game, we found out, oh, if you just dump it in the box, you just give your friends whatever Pokemon, without actually having to trade for them. I mean, you could still, hey, I'll give you this if you give me that, and you just take turns dumping the Pokemon into the boxes and withdrawing them. Alright, so our Pokedex is complete. Complete, I mean. Professor Oak, rate my Pokedex. 151 seen, 151 known. Your Pokedex is fully complete. Congratulations. There's one more place that I want to visit. 2 more places that I want to visit. First is Celadon City. Yeah, that's one way to do it too. So if we come in here, I wrote the story. It's great you caught all the Pokemon. Thanks. Me, I'm the programmer. What a surprise. I never expected anyone to fill a Pokedex. I'm the graphic artist. Wow, you finished your Pokedex. Want me to print out a diploma as proof? Sure. Printer error to check the Game Boy printer manual. Okay, let's not print. I was playing a game instead of working. It's the game program. Messing with it could bug out the game. It's the script. Better not look at the ending. Wow, excellent. You completed your Pokedex. Congratulations. Diploma. Player Lee. Congrats. This diploma certifies that you have completed your Pokedex. Game Freak. I like how the diploma doesn't wrap around the bottom. What happened with that border? We did it. It's done. It's a done deal. Heal up. Oh yeah, that's right. This isn't where I wanted to head. I want to go Fuchsia. Not just go to Fuchsia. Wait, I can't remember if I fought these trainers or not. So. Oh my god, I don't remember if I fought them. We avoided them in any case. Pika! Whoa! Your Pikachu knows how to surf, so I'm not alone. Great, you earned the right to surf with the dude. Give it a go. Oh no, he wiped out. I never had a chance to play this minigame, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Because you have to land with the wave. HP? Is that just to measure the distance? The most you can do is 2 spins, I guess. Hey, I landed that one. He didn't even spin there. What happened there? You didn't know about this? This is one of the reasons I wanted Pikachu to learn Surf. As a kid, I never got to do this legitimately. Oop. Radness. Did you enjoy that? Did you have fun, Pikachu? Did you have fun surfing? See if I can do a little better now that I actually know how to do this. Oh. Didn't want to chance it there. What? I landed that wave. What are you talking about, game? That one was tricky. I didn't know what to do there. I didn't do anything there because I didn't know that he was gonna kick off of it. What? I didn't know what to do there. I actually tried to move there because every time that I get there, he always eats it. He ate that last wave. So it's however many points I earn plus all of my little flips, I guess. Alright, that's enough of that. So now I have Surfing Pikachu. Oh yeah, and I think there's one more thing. I think if you surf, Pikachu will be your sprite instead for when you surf. Yeah, there you go. No one cares about you, Tentacool. We're surfing. I have a completed version of Pokemon Yellow. I am really happy right now. As a kid, my Pokemon Yellow, for whatever reason, ended up getting corrupted, right? And I mean on a ROM level corrupted. and I didn't know what happened to it forever. Then, like, when I decided that I wanted to try and stream the game, I had just started getting into repairing cartridges, just like little simple repairs. And I decided that I was going to reflow my cartridge. So I was going to take the ROM chip and I was going to solder it back into place, give it a fresh coat, and see what happens. Because at that point I figured this cartridge is dead anyway. So I did it, I went ahead and tested it, and it actually started booting up again. So I was excited, went ahead and replaced the battery, and here we are. I was able to recomplete it. Does Oak say anything about the Dex? I don't remember. Oh, I had checked that earlier, but I guess you missed it. He says the same thing I think that he would normally say at 150, but he does mention that you completed it. Your Pokedex is fully complete. Congratulations. We closed the link to Professor Oak's PC. And we'll save our 151 Pokemon save file. We did it! We beat Pokemon. Right. Ooh. Something I need to do quick. We do that real quick. Actually, that's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Because I forget that my switch box automatically goes to my cable box. I don't want to accidentally stream whatever's on TV, because that would be a no-no. Right. What I do want to do real quick, because I know I will forget and then I will hate everyone, is back up this save file. So that if my Pokemon game ever runs out of battery, then I will always have my completed save file. Let's see. And there we go. We now have a digital backup of my save file. Time for me to knock out. Good night, my dude. Congrats on finishing Stadium. Thank you for helping me to complete Stadium, because I know that I am not the best battler. I will go through the effort of raising Pokemon to be their best, but I will not always make the best decisions when it comes to battling. So, question is, what do we do from here? Excellent question, but I don't have an answer for. I guess we would go ahead and start Crystal version, possibly. See if I can maybe get that set up at least. Go. To my scalers though. If it wants to cooperate. That did the trick. Oh no, what the heck? System settings were lost. Calendar and other settings were reset. Choose system settings now. Let's bring you guys back over to here. I think my battery on my GameCube died out. Oh boy, I guess it's gonna be time to solder in a new battery into the GameCube. 2136. We are definitely not in 2136. How did it get to 2130? You can't even get up there. You can only get to 2099. We're in 2023. Oh man, that's gonna be problematic. I mean, I'll probably not even be alive anymore at that point. Wow. It'll be a done deal. What time is it now? It does this in military time, apparently. I mean, my battery is dried out, so I don't know how well that's gonna work. My Swiss is also probably super outdated at this point. Oh, what the heck am I doing? We already uploaded to Swiss. And it's been forever since I've been in here. What the heck do I do? Here we go. Then just in case. You guys believe me if I said I'd never seen the intro to Crystal? Alrighty. Fast. Battle on shift. I don't know what menu account is. Wait, does cancel mean that nothing got saved? Why does it have cancel, not like confirm? Alright. Are you a boy or a girl? I am a boy. Last I checked. Why? You woke me up. Will you check the clock for me? What time is it? It is pretty late, actually, Professor. Assuming it's the professor. Whoa, 29 minutes? Night, 11:29. No wonder it's so dark. Hello, sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People call me the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited by creatures that we call Pokemon. People and Pokemon live together by supporting each other. Some people play with Pokemon, some battle with them. But we don't know everything about Pokemon yet. There are still many mysteries to solve. That's why I study Pokemon every day. Now, what did you say your name was? Chris, Matt, Alan, or John? None of those. My name is Lee. I can spell my own name, I promise. Lee, are you ready? Your very own Pokemon story is about to unfold. You'll face fun times and tough challenges. A world of dreams and adventure with Pokemon awaits. Let's go. I'll be seeing you later. Professor Oak's Pokemon Talk. Please tune in next time. Pokemon Channel. This is DJ Mary, your co-host. Pokemon Channel. It's a TV. No kidding. A whole collection of Pokemon picture books. What, I don't know how to read? Anything in the PC? We would draw anything? Nope. We deposit anything? Nope. It's the town map. We got New Barktown and Route 29 and Cherry Grove City. Hey, it's almost like this is a continuation of the previous region. It's nudge, nudge. Go ahead and save. Oh, save our game for the moment. Saving, don't turn off the power. Oh, Lee, our neighbor, Professor Elm, was looking for you. He said he wanted you to do something for him. Oh, I almost forgot. Your Pokemon gear is back from the repair shop. Here you go. Lee received the Poke Gear. Pokemon gear, or just Poke Gear for short. It's essential if you want to be a good trainer. Oh, the day of the week isn't set yet. You mustn't forget that. What day is it? Actually, it is Sunday. Sunday, is it? Is it daylight savings time now? Is it? I never pay attention to that. I don't know. I think we're currently in daylight savings. Yeah, we are in daylight savings, I assume. Come home and adjust your clock for daylight savings time. By the way, do you know how to use the phone? I mean, I know how to use the phone. I'm gonna assume my trainer doesn't. I'll read the instructions. Turn the Pokegear on and select the phone icon. Phone numbers are stored in memory. Just choose the name you want to call. Gee, isn't that convenient? I mean, like a cell phone today. Good evening, Lee. I'm visiting. Lee, have you heard? My daughter is adamant about becoming Professor Elm's assistant. She really loves Pokemon. There's a movie on TV. Starts Stop the Skies as two boys ride on a train. I'd better get rolling too. Let's see what's in the fridge. Fresh water and tasty lemonade. Nice references. The sink is spotless. Mom likes it clean. Mom's specialty. Cinnabar volcano burgers. References to the old region all over the place. Yo, Lee! I hear Professor Elm discovered some new Pokemon. Elm's house. Hi, Lee. My husband's always so busy. I hope he's okay. When he's caught up in his Pokemon research, he even forgets to eat. When I grow up, I'm going to help my dad. I'm going to be a great Pokemon professor. Pokemon, where do they come from? Where are they going? Why has no one ever witnessed a Pokemon's birth? I want to know. I will dedicate my life to the study of Pokemon. It's part of Professor Elm's research papers. It's a TV. Full of difficult books. Pikachu is an evolved Pokemon. I was amazed by Professor Elm's findings. He's so famous for his research on Pokemon evolution. Sigh. I wish I could be a researcher like him. But what's stopping you? Pokemon magazines. Pokemon Pal, Pokemon Handbook, Pokemon Graph. What would you want to graph about Pokemon? It's a TV. Are you also listening to DJ Mary? Wow, your Pokegear is impressive. Did your mom get it in for you? Actually, yes, she did. Check out the Pokegear. Gonna be keeping track of time for us going forward. And call my mom. May annoy her. Hello? Oh, hi, Lee. Wasn't Professor Elm waiting for you? That was the shortest-lived conversation. This is the famous Elm Lab. What are you staring at? Your face! That's what I'm staring at. Anywho. I don't want to get too deep into the game, but this will at least let me start it. You guys can see that I'm starting it. We have our ID number. So I'm going to see how it is that I'm going to work around getting the first few Pokemon that we're going to need. I actually don't know how I'm going to pull that off. Guess we will leave this stream here for now. Go ahead and save it. We've already done some light exploration of the town. I already know I have to replace the battery on my GameCube. Oh my lord. I guess I have a week to do that before next night's stream, right? Maybe I can get like a battery holder thing. Doesn't look like it would be too hard to replace a GameCube battery. I have to do some research on that. I don't want to screw up my lovely GameCube that's set up to do exactly what I need it to do. Oh lord. I mean, I guess we could also take a peek at what's gonna happen in Stadium 2, right? We can also do that. Hey, what's up? SP Espin and 00. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry. Espin? 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 We just finished beating Pokemon Stadium Round 2 and completing the Pokedex in yellow. We were getting started off on Crystal and figuring out what the heck we're gonna do. We'd also take a sneak peek to see what to expect in Stadium 2, because I honestly don't remember anything about Stadium 2. Guess we could do that real quick. Yeah, I keep forgetting. I need to go ahead do our transition because I don't want to accidentally stuff about we try plugging in Crystal and seeing how it gets. Hello, get out of this for a moment. No, we were actually using Pokemon from our Game Boy games. I'm using original hardware. Look at that intro. It looks a little sharper than Stadium 1. Man, I don't know how anyone can do it with just rentals in round 2. Round 1 is definitely doable with rentals, but round 2... Save file not found? Uh-oh. Does my crystal have a battery that's run out? Because that'll be something else I need to address. Go to the Game Boy Tower and see what's going on. What do you mean a save file was not found? That'll be really annoying. If its battery has already drained. That means the batteries don't last very long at all, even if you have no save file on them. What is this? Why is it doing? Why is it loading it the way that it is? The transfer pack is not properly set. Oh, great, fantastic. Let me grab a Game Boy. Game Boy right here. And see what's going on. It might just be that my battery has run dry on my crystal, so that's another project I'll need to get to work on. So you claim that something is wrong with my crystal version. Well, we saved. Yep. My save file is gone. All of my settings are gone in here too. So that means this battery has already run dry. I bought this crystal version with the notion that the battery had already been replaced on it. And it's already dried. So I have to replace the battery on my GameCube, and I have to replace the battery on my crystal version. I wonder if my gold versions also run dry too then. Oh man, that's gonna be annoying. Gold I replaced not too long ago. Good luck. Just start up my gold version. I'll do it through the game. Doom. There we go. Go into our GPI. I'll just start it up real quick and do a save. I don't expect this to have a save because I never made a save on here. I'm glad that we're figuring all of this out now. It is 11:44 Eastern time right now. Oh, you got the original hardware too? Nice. I have a couple batteries to replace. Gold is probably the version I'm going to play alongside Crystal, while Phantom plays Silver. Oh, the intro's already very different. It is Sunday, and yes, it is daylight savings. On the Pokedex, select the phone icon. Phone numbers are stored. They choose a name. Blah blah blah. Isn't that convenient? Right, that's enough. Let's go ahead and save. I guess I'll turn it off. Because the annoying part about these games is how quickly their batteries run dry. Alright, so this one's fine. My version, the battery I replaced, is doing just fine, apparently. Alright, so... I'm gonna delete that save file for now, though. Oh. Forget that always is a failsafe. They probably put, we're doing this on a controller and not a Game Boy. Alright, so those work. My gold version, I mean, works. So I guess I'll just go ahead and do a clean battery swap of my gold, silver, and crystal, as well as figure out how to fix my my GameCube's battery. Figuring out stuff from there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Got my work cut out for me. I got a week to get whatever parts I need and whatnot ready to go. So I think I'm good in that regard. Glad that I didn't wait until Sunday to figure all of this out. So it's gonna be a blue screen for now. Should I go for a holder replacement? I was gonna do that. Probably want to buy from console repairs. Console 5 will probably have the parts. Or I could be entirely and completely wrong. What do you have for GameCube other than security bolts? You got cap kits, pry PCBs, copper cables, extension cables, replacement silicone pads for the controller, SCART RGBs, battery holder mods, huh? That's kind of not fun. Yeah, so I guess I got my work cut out for me. I won't keep you guys here being bored out of your skulls, though, while I try to tinker with this stuff. Like I said, I have my work cut out for me, so I'll be figuring all of that out soon. So we did it. We beat yellow. We also technically beat blue, although I wasn't streaming blue. And we beat Stadium Round 1 and Round 2. So that was one of my goals. So I beat Gen 1 and the Gen 1 game that goes with it. I'll be making those battery replacements onto the necessary cartridges and getting all of that rolling. And hopefully soon, we'll get right back on track with all of that stuff. So, neato completo. Alrighty, so I think that's it for tonight's stream, everyone. I want to thank everyone who came out to watch. I know it was slightly shorter than usual. So we didn't go for like the 3 hours like we usually do, but maybe that's a good thing too, especially since I was able to use this tail end to see what was going on and see that apparently my crystal version is not capable of saving that battery has already run dry. Fantastic. So we'll be replacing that battery and replacing the GameCube battery, although I don't think that one is as pressing as the crystal version battery. So I'll be getting on that, and hopefully from there we'll figure everything out, guys. So I want to thank everyone for coming out to watch. I'll go ahead and plug my socials in the chat for those of you that are still here. All right, so if you want to know when I'm going to stream, go ahead and give me a follow over at twitter.com/LeeMustang. If you want to see what I'm adding to my game collection over time, go ahead and give me a follow over at instagram.com/Lee.Mustang, where you can see me add a bunch of stuff to my game collection over time. I don't update it very often, but when I do, it's a boatload of pictures, so feel free to head on over there and see what kind of stuff I add to my collection over time. Just lucky finds that I have, or just neat stuff that I end up picking up along the way. And of course, if you want to see the rest of this series from beginning and now with this one to end, you can go ahead and give me a follow over at youtube.com/LeeMustang, where you can catch lots of my other Let's Plays, long plays, stream uploads, all of that jazz, my VODs, reviews that I've done, all of that stuff. And if you happen to be watching this from youtube.com/LaneMustang. Of course, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to my channel to help it grow. Click the little bell icon to be in the know. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Until then, guys, take care.